want to talk a little bit just about trauma. It's been coming up lately in my life personally, in my circles, and coming up in the way of just thinking about how I've responded in the past to things that may not have normally triggered me as much, but ended up doing it because of past pain or experiences that I've had. And one of the biggest examples was back in 2000, I want to say 2008 or 2009, I went to the Ringside World Championships boxing. And I had put so much pressure on myself to win a national championship. Like that was it. Like I had to be a national champion. That's it. And trained my ass off. I was down there, and there's 10 rings going on at one time in this place. It's humongous, and I'm getting ready to fight. I'm gonna fight this big Irish guy named Tidmolt Patrick, big old freaking, I think he's like 6'6", and I was looking at the wrong ring the whole time, and so all of a sudden they announced like, oh, the winner by disqualification. Then I'm like, no. I found out that the fight I was supposed to be in the ring, and my coach, he didn't know which ring we're in, and so I'm sitting here warming up, and I'm trying to like, no, please, no. And so we beg them. I make a big old fiasco. We beg them for the fight, and so they let us fight. And in my interpretation, I beat the living shit out of this guy. I mean, I beat the shit out of him, and I lost the fight. I lost a close decision, a hairpin decision, and I took it really hard. I took it really personal, and I went back to my hotel room and I booked an early flight and I left. I had a teammate. He fought the next day. He ended up winning the national championship, but I left. I didn't support him. I just was all in my grief and in my head and in my hurt and in my pain and in my disappointment. And I flew back home, and I didn't go back to the boxing gym for a while. And I remember my coach begging me. He's like, Michael, please don't quit. Please don't quit. Please don't quit. I remember him begging me, and it just didn't get. I didn't come back for I think a month or two. And as I look back now, I go, man, that was my moment. Like I went back into the gym, and like right when I got back, and the other teammates were like, hey man, I heard you had a really good fight, heard you did awesome. And it didn't register to me, because I thought they were just saying shit to me just to be nice, to make Michael feel good, and da da da. But it was the truth, that moment, that moment was, if I had the maturity, the awareness to the awareness to hear what I needed to hear at that moment, and to look through all of to look through the pain, to look through because the reason why I was hurting so bad had nothing to do with how I fought or anything. It had to do with things I had experienced in the past, and reinforce beliefs that were already toxic, like I'm not good enough, or I'm not whatever. And so that was my moment. Like that was the time that if I was going to go from a good fighter to an elite fighter, that was my moment, and I missed it. I missed it because I didn't have the ability to see that moment for what it was. Now, of course, hindsight, right? I'm looking back, and I'm constantly taking myself, like just looking at my life and to grow. And I think about a lot of people that are missing the opportunity to hear what's being said because of the trauma triggers, because of these triggers. And what they do is they take you from the cortex instantly into the defense mode, fight or flight. And it's no longer you that person that's showing up. It's a program. It's a default program that's keeping you in survival mode. And these can be triggered by gentle drips, and they can also be triggered by tidal waves. And this is the reality, though, is that you cannot see clearly if you are being ran by trauma responses, because what happens is in this survival mode, there are things that you should feel sensitivity to that you don't feel, and there's things that you shouldn't feel sensitivity to, like at real high levels, that you feel overly sensitive, and that's what it messes up the equilibrium, and so it makes you it makes it very difficult to respond to criticism, constructive criticism. It makes it very difficult to learn from your failures, just as a failure. Hey, it's a loss today. So it makes it very difficult to grow because of these big, huge pendulum swings from one side to the other. So one of the things, tonight I'm giving a talk at the Heroic Voice workshop, and I'm going to talk about strategies that you can implement into your life that will instantly take you out of that space, so that you can be in a more coherent and clear mindset. And these aren't just things that you have to do here all the time. These are things you can take at home. But what happens is that over time, your body will start to learn certain strategies on its own, and you will not have to do these things consciously. And that's what's beautiful about growth. So I hope to see you soon, and I'll talk to you later.